boy, hey, Rav Kadomo, Sifta, boy, hey, Rav Kadomo, Sifta, boy, Shalim, Yelibori, Cholam, Yisrael, B'tav B'chayim B'vish.
The best guest I ever had with Tamara.
And be a big nachas for your parents.
Thank you. Master.
Rabbi Sai, Bruchim Habayim B'Shem Hashem. I'm happy to greet all of you here. We have wonderful guests of honor tonight. We have the Malkiel and Tamara ben Mordechai, and we have Mr. and Mrs. Poulad, and they will both speak to you and say a few words. I'd first like to call on Reb Malkiel ben Mordechai to say a few short words, and then we will continue into other members of the family.
Good evening, everyone, and Shavua Tov. Thank you for coming tonight, our dinner, to stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Why we here? Why we here? Because my family love to Rabbi Rosenblatt. All my family, and we go to this shul to pray. My children go, my brother go, all my family go to this shul. Even this shul, small, Rabbi Rosenblatt is hard, big. And we love this shul because the shul working from 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock to until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Always open for everyone. Doesn't matter, Bukharian, Ashkenazi, Syrian. This shul for everybody, open. Small shul, the big zechut for our people. Why? I say thank you for everybody. You don't forget us. You don't forget our shul. And I just tell you, thank you for Rabbi Rosenblatt. God give him bless. 120 years be with us. And stay with our family too. Thank you very much for everybody to come here, stay with us to enjoy. Thank you.
Shavua Tov, everybody. I'm so happy to see all my friends here, our community here. Honestly, I didn't know they're gonna be honoring me to say some few words. What can I tell you? It's a big privilege for me to speak about my brother. Sometimes people mixing up us. My brother is a mashgiach, and I do shatnez. They see my brother, they see them. They said, if my suit is ready. So my brother, he said, yes, it's ready, go. So the customer come to me, my suit is ready. I said, not yet, but you saw me and you said, yes, it's ready. So what kind of brother I have? So it's a really nice to see all of you and participate on such an evening. It's true. The Yeshiva Keter Torah is mamash, it's a diamond in our Kew Garden Hills and Flushing. And this is mamash misirut nefesh to a Rav. He keep that shul open 24/7, we can say. Whenever we come late from waiting, from bar mitzvah or something, and we miss the minyan, we come to Keter Torah. Keter Torah is a mamash, as we say, pearl in the Kew Garden Hill. Rabbi Hashem should give you koach to guide us many more years. And dear brother, I'm so happy you've been honored today. You know, you deserve it. My brothers, you always protect me from day one. I'm youngest one. I'm the 8th in the family. So I'm like a baby. So when we lost our father, he always next to me. And I really respect him and I love him. He is my father. And any questions, any needs or something, I always come to him And one time when I was supposed to get married, he said, "Why are you going so far? Take my wife's sister." So he introduced me. And Baruch Hashem, with 2 brothers married to 2 sisters. Thank you for listening.
Chut HaMeshulosh, B'meira Lo Yinotek. The third member of the family is the son of Malkiel and Tamara ben Mordechai. He is also the principal of Sharei Tzion and the Rav of Ateret Yosef. Okay, we'd like to hear a few words from Rabbeinu Ephraim. I was privileged many years ago to attend their chasana, so it's like part of the family already.
Good Vach, Shavua Tov. If you see everyone standing here tonight and saying the same thing over and over again, that means, Achen, Be'emet, it's true what they say about Keter Torah. It's a kavod gadol for me to stand here tonight and have the opportunity to express our hakarat tov on behalf of myself, my family, and my parents, to Rabbi Rosenblatt and the Rebbitzin, upon choosing my father to be the guest of honor for tonight's Melave Malka. May Hashem grant you and the Rebbitzin Arichus Yomim B'Shanim Brim, many more years of Arbasas Torah and Ahavat Yisrael. I want to thank all the guests that came here tonight to support my father. May we also have the zechut to support you in your happy occasions. I grew up in KHDH and therefore was able to see the growth of Keter Torah to the level that it is today. And was always wondering, what is it about Keter Torah that makes it so populated with people? Anyone you ask, where is there a minyan now? They will refer you to Keter Torah. Or if a person will want to have a makom, a place to learn, a quiet place, he knows where to find it. It will make sense that during the first Shacharis and Mincha it would be full of people, but after a couple of minyanim, you should expect less and less people. That is not the case in Keter Torah. Whether the first minyan or the last minyan, Baruch Hashem, every time I walk in there, it is populated, it's full. And Baruch Hashem, there are 2 entrances. So whenever I come and I think I would like to catch a minyan, when one entrance is full and you can't come in, so I tried to get the other entrance. And guess what? That entrance is also full. Baruch Hashem. Besides it being packed, when you come in, you will find all types of Yidden, Ashkenazi, Sfaradi, Hasidis, even a Ger, if you Ger Tzedek, also daven there. And the best of all, everyone that comes feels so comfortable as though this is their Beit Knesset, Beit Midrash. I'm sure everybody here tonight feels the same. From the outside, the binyan is Makom Tzanua, a very simple, humble place, but the inside is full. As the Mishnah tells us, Al tistakel bekankan ela ma sheyesh bo. So I was asking myself, what makes it so popular? We see it's not the building. It's not the building. What makes it have the Siyata D'Shmaya of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shechina to rest in this Makom Kadosh? As Yaakov Avinu, we read this morning, Yaakov Avinu wakes up and he says, Achen yesh Hashem b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati. The only answer I came up with is Rabbi Rosenblatt. His tremendous Ahavat Yisrael to every single Yid. his welcoming smile, and his warm presence. 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to start davening and learning in Keter Torah. Little by little, build a kesher with Rabbi Rosenblatt. On a few occasions, I would come to Rabbi Rosenblatt and ask him, when I was in a difficult situation, I would ask him, Rabbi Rosenblatt, can you please daven for me? He would take out a notepad and he would ask me, Bidyuk, what is my name? He wanted to know my name and he would write it down. A lot of times you come and approach some rabbis, tzaddikim in the community, and you ask him to daven for you. They say, okay, I'll daven for you. But you don't really know if be'emet he's going to daven for you. I knew for a fact that Rabbi Rosenblatt would daven for me, not only because he would take out a pen and write my name, but be'emet, whenever I was in a troubled situation, I would see, Baruch Hashem, my tefillot, my worries were answered. And it wasn't because of my tefillot, it was because of Rabbi Rosenblatt. And whenever I had a Talmud or anybody that would come to me and approach me with a problem, I would tell them, go to Rabbi Rosenblatt. There's a tzaddik that lives over here. You could ask him, he's going to take your name down, he will daven for you. And you will see his tefillot get answered. Just to show you an example, as I entered here tonight, they say, there's a saying, famous saying, what a coincidence, what a small world. I heard somebody saying it's not a small world, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu that's big. When I entered here tonight, Rabbi Rosenblatt did not put two and two together that I'm the son of Mr. Malkiel. And when he saw me, he said, oh, you're the one I remember. I came to your chasana 18 years ago. 18 years ago, I was davening in Keter Torah, and once I came over to Rabbi Rosenblatt, and I said, I'm getting married tomorrow night. I would be very happy to see Rabbi Rosenblatt there. And in my mind, I did not think that Rabbi Rosenblatt is actually going to come. I just invited him. Lo and behold, I see Rabbi Rosenblatt in my chasna. I will never forget that. I'm sure Rabbi Rosenblatt will also never forget that. Thank you, Rabbi Rosenblatt. I saw a nice word that I said over this morning, brought down in the Sefer of Rabbi Socher Friend. We find that Yaakov Avinu, he goes and he finds the shepherds sitting by the well, and he starts giving them musar. Lo et ha'asef ha'mikneh, halchu, hatzon ulchu re'u. It's not the time to gather up your sheep. So I think he brings it down from the Poulad Rav. If I see a construction worker that is supposed to be working, for example, we have construction going on Jewel Avenue, and every morning when I go to yeshiva, I'm stuck in traffic, and I'm asking myself, when is this going to end? So when we see this construction worker that's supposed to be fixing the road, if you see him sitting around and playing cards, even though you will think something in your head, but I don't think you have the chutzpah, the audacity to get up and give him musar. Imagine you get out of your car and you say, what's pshat? What are you doing? It's still early in the morning. You're supposed to be working. We're all stuck in traffic. You would probably think it, but you wouldn't have the audacity. Yaakov Avinu, when he sees the shepherds, he says, what are you sitting around? It's still early. Lo et ha'asef ha'mikneh. It's not time to gather your sheep. How can Yaakov Avinu have the audacity? And the Poulad Rav says, one word in the pasuk answers the question. He says to them when he greets them, Achai me'ayin atem. He first asks them, my brothers, where are you from? The mere fact that he greeted them with such a statement, my brothers, that alone gave them the warm feeling. They felt so warm that he felt that he was able to give him Muslim. This is Rabbi Rosenblatt. Every time I'm in his presence, I'm ready to listen to anything he has to tell me. Baruch Hashem, we have a tzaddik in our community. Thank you, Rabbi Rosenblatt. Thank you all for coming, and Shavua Tov B'Dvach.
In honor of our guest of honor, the Malkiel ben Mordechai, guests of honor for their dedication and devotion to Yeshiva Kesed Torah. Annual Journal Melave Malka, November 17th, Parshas Vayetze. Where's the photographers?
They're outside.
The next guest of honor is a Talmud of Yeshiva Kesed Torah for many years. If I would call him an alumni, it would be incorrect, because he's still sitting and learning. So, Mr. and Mrs. Poulad, who learned in the yeshiva many years, we'd like to call upon him to say a few words, and he is a very special person.
Shavua Tov. Thank you, Rosh Yeshiva. Okay. Now, I'm ready for this. Okay, I just have to bring something here. 1 second. Thank you. Okay, I'll just leave this here. Okay. I just want to say, first of all, thank you everybody for coming. It's a big zechut for the community to have Rabbi Rosenblatt and the Rebbitzin in our midst. So many years for the community, and what they've done for our neighborhood and the bracha that they bring in the yeshiva. Thank you. But before I start, I just want to thank, first of all, I want to remember my father, Zichrono Livracha, Yonatan ben Ima Shalom, Menuchato B'Gan Eden, who always supported me in everything. And he always loved to learn the Me'am Loez with me. I wanted to just say, I started, now I learned that a lot with remembering him. And my family, and also all the friends and all the guests that are here. It's a big zechut for us to be here to join the Rosh Yeshiva. And Kesed Torah, I don't know if you know, but it was really a yeshiva many years ago, more than a shul or a minion factory, and shiurim for many, many years. And I've run into so many people that I had no idea that learned there over the years, Balei Tshuva. And it was, it was a place where people grew and changed their lives, and still today grow and change their lives. I want to quote, there's a Rabbi Alon Anava. I don't know if you heard of Rabbi Alon Anava, but he's about Tshuva. And, he goes around the world giving Divrei Torah. He had a tremendous experience. It's a whole long story about him. But he said something which really stuck with me, and I want to say. He says, when we go to a shiur, or we go to a dinner, or we go to any kind of gathering or whatever, you think that you came because you were invited, or you saw a poster, or you had a friend. But really, it's not like that. Really, you're meant to be here. We're all meant to be here exactly together. Min hashamayim, we're all orchestrated to be here together, and it's not that we're here by accident, but we were meant to be here tonight, and we were meant to share the moment together. I wanted to say that when we were in yeshiva in Kesed Torah, we learned We learned, it was a Makom Torah. We learned what it means to be in the Yama Talmud. We learned what it means to, you want to learn, you want to explain, you want to understand something. A line in the Gemara, a sugya, a shakla v'tarya, you want to learn, you want to understand it, and sometimes it could even take a few days. And we had that opportunity there. And, it's really related to, it's perfect that this parsha is where, because it's really related to that. It says, Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva, Yaakov left Beersheva, and Vayelech Harana. It was like, and Yaakov Avinu, where was he? He was in yeshiva. He was Be'er Shava. That's Be'er Saver. That everything's Sova. That there was the Be'er of Mayim Chaim, learning Torah. And he could sit there. He sat there. He learned, and he delved, and he was able to get into the depth, and because of it, we're here today. But Vayelech Harana, at a certain point in your life, you have to go out into the world. You have to go out into Galut. You have to go out into Galut. Charon, Apo, Charon. It's the place. The world is not an easy place. You have to leave the yeshiva. But the yeshiva really gave us, Talmidim, it gave us the tools to deal with the world. I really believe the Mussar Shmuzim that we got from the Rosh Yeshiva over the years, not only it changed our lives, but we were able to be connected to a world which we never had. The Rosh Yeshiva, you have to understand where the Rosh Yeshiva came from. It's from Rab Henoch, Rab Aaron Kotler. Where did they come from? Rab Aaron Kotler was a Talmid of Rab Baruch Ber Leibowitz, and up in Europe, in Slutsk. Over there, where was Rab Baruch from? Rab Baruch Ber. He was the Talmid of the Griz, of Rab Soloveitchik, Rab Zalman Soloveitchik, who was a Talmid from Volozhin, Rab Chaim Volozhin and the Gra. In other words, the Torah that we have, we're connected to a world as Balei Tshuva. We wouldn't have had that connection. We wouldn't have had that access. We wouldn't have had what we had with the Rosh Yeshiva when it was a yeshiva, and it is still. Bezrat Hashem, it still is a yeshiva. But I'm talking about that we were Talmidim, and we were invited to the Rosh Yeshiva's house, and we had dinners Friday nights, and on the Chagim we ate by the Rosh Yeshiva, and we understood something that we didn't see ever before. At the table, how we were conducting ourselves, and the Divrei Torah, a Pesach Seder that I had with the Rosh Yeshiva. I never had a Pesach Seder like that when I was a Talmid in the yeshiva. That how we went into each inyan, and when we learned in the yeshiva, we were just trying to understand simply, but Rosh Yeshiva would learn very slowly. It's very slowly, but things would come out that you wouldn't be able to find if we didn't go in that derech. And that derech came where it's funneled to us, which we wouldn't have had access. So the Rosh Yeshiva put a yeshiva in Kew Garden Hills and Briarwood that continued that Masorah that we would have, Chas v'shalom, we would have lost. And because it was there, I was zoche, as a lot of the Talmidim, we were zoche to taste something that we wouldn't have had access to. And it changed a lot of people's lives. I know over the years we see people get married, kids, grandkids, and I feel like I have someone that I can come and ask very, very important, difficult problems in my life. I have somewhere to go, and there's this chut to have this yeshiva, and that's why we're here. Obviously, we're here to support the Rosh Yeshiva, Kesed Torah, and we've extended our night, we've extended ourselves to come here. And the tefillah, because that we daven over there, are like nothing else. You can't get a tefillah like in Kesed Torah. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. I just wanted to mention just one more thing as on the parsha. It says Vehine Sulam, and it says that it's Arza Mutzav Arza V'Rosho Magia Shamayma, right? So when we go into the world, okay, we couldn't stay in yeshiva. We should stay in yeshiva our whole lives. We're all learning at times. Sure, we all have our koveh itim l'Torah, But when you go out, okay, so this is the world, Mutzav Arza, right? We're out in the world, we're dealing with people, we're dealing with customers, we're dealing with patients, we're dealing with impatience, we're dealing with all this stuff. But Rosh Hashanah, if we keep our heads always on the focus, what our focus is, we have a focus, because we're here, we know we have a focus, that our lives are more than, the spiritual lives. We're all have that focus of being connected to a Makom Torah, being connected to Divrei Torah, being connected to a tzaddik, being connected to all these things, make life meaningful and give us a mission, give us purpose. So I feel like I was really zocheh to have a lot of the Talmidim that I grew up with in the yeshiva, and I see a lot of us are here, and our minyan in Hillcrest is here, and all the people are here. It's a real zechut for all of us, and we should continue to definitely support the yeshiva, because we're getting something from it, that the yeshiva is here. So okay, Shavua Tov. Thank you, Rosh Hashiva. Oh, wait, I just want one more thing. Now I knew Rosh Hashiva was going to give us this plaque, so I wanted to get the Rosh Hashiva back if I could. And a friend of mine mentioned, the Rosh Hashiva's tefillin bag that looks a little worn out. So I said, oh, okay, that's a great idea. So I went over to Gift World, right? We have to support our local stores. And we bought this for the Rosh Hashiva. My family bought this for the Rosh Hashiva. And it says, I just want to read it to you. It says, the cover to Rosh Hashiva, the Keter Torah, Harav Eliakim Getzel Rosenblatt, Shlita. And I had to ask the Rosh Hashiva how he spelled the tet and the tuf. That's why I asked Rosh Hashiva. I wanted to double check it. It's with a tet.
Thank you very much. I don't know if he didn't present it to me, if I would ever have a different tefillin bag. In grateful appreciation to Mr. Michael and Mariam Poulad, guests of honor, for their dedication and devotion to Yeshiva Keser Torah, Annual Journal Melave Malka, November 17, 2018, Parshas Vayetze. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Rabbi Say, I just want to tell you the next part of the program. I want to thank our guest speaker tonight. Was supposed to be Rabbi Weiss, Dr. Weiss, from the Young Israel of Hillcrest. He's not well, and he was not able to attend. And we, Baruch Hashem, we spoke to Rabbi Marcus, the rabbi of the Young Israel of Queens Valley, who will speak as a guest speaker in just a few moments. Before that, I wanted to say a very short word that's very powerful, very meaningful, and then we'll call on Rabbi Marcus. This word will take a few minutes, and it's very, very powerful. It's a story that I was zeicha to be part of with Reb Aaron Kotler, Zeichet Tzaddik L'Vrocha. Reb Aaron, Zeichet L'Vrocha, his office where he sat and learned in Lakewood was with glass doors where you could see right through it. And every time you walked by, what did you see, of course? You saw Reb Aaron Kotler, the Gadol Hador, sitting and learning. Now, I happened to walk by at one moment, and I saw something incredible that nobody in the world ever saw that I know of. I saw Reb Aaron Kotler sitting and learning, and all of a sudden, I saw him stand up and started to dance. Unbelievable story. Reb Aaron Kotler is dancing, and I'm looking there in amazement. What's going on? I didn't know what to make of it. All of a sudden, Reb Aaron is dancing, and he sees me walk by the office, his office, and he calls me in, and he says, please call Reb Chaim Epstein. Reb Chaim Epstein was probably the best bacher in the yeshiva at that time. And I still don't know what's going on. He's dancing and he wants to speak to Reb Chaim Epstein. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I called Reb Chaim Epstein, and he and I couldn't wait till he came out to find out what's going on. He came out, and I went over to him and I said, could you please tell me what's happening? Reb Aaron is dancing and he wants to speak to you all of a sudden. He says, I'll tell you what's happening. Reb Aaron Kotler, Zeichet Tzaddik Levracha, was working to figure out a Bir Hagroh for 25 years. And he couldn't figure it out until that moment that I happened to walk by his office. He figured it out at that moment, a pshat in the Bir Hagroh, and he was so happy, he was so elated that he started to dance. So I learned from this two things. I learned from this, number one, what does it mean, amelus b'Torah? What does it mean to toil in Torah? 25 years in back of his mind, he had that Bir Hagroh that he couldn't figure out. And he was working on it for 25 years. Das heißt amelus b'Torah. How much we all have to learn from this, that it's so amazing and it's so terrific to toil in Torah, what it means. And I also learned from this the simcha. If one learns Torah, he could attain tremendous, tremendous simcha. Reb Aaron started to dance. So I hope that this little story will help everybody become more of an omel b'Torah and to enjoy simchas HaTorah. It's now my great pleasure and privilege to introduce to you, and I thank him very much, Rabbi Shmuel Marcus, the rabbi of the Young Israel of Queens Valley, who is the guest speaker tonight.
Rishus, Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi Rosenblatt, honored Rabbanim, and guests. Recently came across an interesting biography of the Satmar Rebbe of Yoel Teitelbaum Zatzal, written by an individual who served as his personal attendant when this individual was only a bacher, Cheskel Yosef Weishauser. And he writes how from the time the Satmar Rebbe became bar mitzvah in the year 1900, for the next 40 years or so until the Second World War, he never ever slept in a bed at night during the week with the exception of Shabbos Kodesh. Because he was learning. And I can only presume that the Satmar Rebbe derived his inspiration from the words of Chazal quoted by Rashi in this week's parsha. Rashi tells us that when Yaakov was on his way to Charan, Vayifga b'makom vayolen sham kiva hashemesh, and the pasuk tells us that Vayishkav b'makom ahu, Yaakov lies down to sleep. And Rashi says, b'makom ahu, only there he slept. But for the past 14 years in Yeshiva Shem ve'ever, Yaakov never slept, never lay down to sleep. So I once heard a beautiful Sichas Musar from my Rebbe of Meir Twersky, who asked very simply, so for 14 years, Yaakov was awake at night, every night, learning, never laid down to go to sleep. So what happened? Now all of a sudden he looks at his watch, oh wow, I'm tired, it's been 14 years. Time for a nap? What changed? All of a sudden now he becomes so tired, he falls asleep, he has to dream. So Rav Tversky explained, B'derech Hadrush, it's not pshat that Yaakov suddenly realized, I'm so tired, I must lie down and go to sleep, and therefore he had a dream. But rather, Yaakov decided, I need to dream, and therefore he went to sleep. Meaning, after 14 years in the Beis Medrash of Shem Ve'ever, Yaakov is now emerging out into the world beyond the walls of the Beis Medrash. He needed to set his sights on his objectives and his goals in Ruchnius. He needed to dream of what he wanted to and what he could accomplish in his avodas Hashem. He b'dafka wanted to dream, to see the Sulam Mutzav Arza for Rosh Hagia Shemaima. He wanted to see what a Jew can accomplish, how high a Jew can climb. He b'dafka wanted to lie down and go to sleep so he could dream, to set his goals, to set his sights on his aspirations. That's what he wanted to accomplish in his avodas Hashem as he ventured out into the home of a Lavan Ha'arami. Because when it comes to one's avodas Hashem, one must always set his sights high, aspire to accomplish. In advance, set goals, set objectives, dream of what is possible, and then pursue those dreams. Just yesterday, I took some Talmidim to visit some of the Kivrei Tzadikim right here in Queens. One of the Kvarim we visited was that of the famed Rosh Hashiva of Torah V'das, of Shlomo Hyman Zatzal. My great uncle, Rav Matul Berkowitz, Zichron Livracha, who was a Talmud of Shlomo Hyman in Torah V'das, used to describe how Shlomo Hyman had such a love for Rabbi Akiva Eiger's Torah that if he saw Talmud holding a Rabbi Akiva Eiger, he said, hold it close to your heart. That's Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Hold it close to your heart. And it's well known, Rav Weintraub, that's all right, that Shlomo Hyman used to dream of being like Rabbi Akiva Eiger. He used to dream to be Rabbi Akiva Eiger. And of course, says Rav Weintraub, you can't be Rabbi Akiva Eiger, but Rabbi Shlomo Hyman he did become. When one sets his sights high to dream of aspiring to accomplish an avodas Hashem, one accomplishes. Rav Steinberg Shlita once told me that when Rabbi Shlomo Hyman was on his deathbed, and his Talmidim family were gathered around him, as he was hovering between this world and the next, he suddenly said, quick, bring a chair for Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Such was the dreams and objectives and aspirations of a Rosh Hashiva, of a Gadol B'Torah. But the truth is, it's not just in Torah that one needs to dream, but in other areas of Avodas Hashem as well. In one's chesed, one needs to aspire to accomplish, one needs to dream to accomplish. A week and a half ago, I had the zchus to meet a remarkable individual, a Rav from Eretz Yisrael, named Rav Yosef Tzvi Rimon, who is a Rav of a shul in Eretz Yisrael. He is a renowned posek halacha, a mechaber svarim. He's written, I believe, close to 10 svarim, if not more, in halacha, various topics in halacha, sought after speaker. But remarkably, aside from his Rabbanis, aside from his teaching, aside from his writing of Sfarim, this was a man who, 13 years ago, when the Israeli government evacuated thousands of Jews from the Gaza Strip, and he visited some of these Jews who were put up temporarily in a hotel for months. They had no home to live in. They had no job to work at. They lost their livelihood. He said, no one's helping these Jews with parnasa. There's thousands of Jews out of work. What are we supposed to do for them? He started an organization called Ta'asu Katif, Job Katif. He single-handedly ended up finding jobs for 3,000 of these Jews, assisting 280 of them in starting their own businesses. He put thousands of Jews back to work just because one person wanted to do a chesed for so many other Yidden. And he wasn't finished then. He then started an organization to train Ethiopian immigrant women to become nurses in Israeli hospitals, one person at a time. He then started an organization called Ta'asu Chayil, helping soldiers from lower socioeconomic backgrounds finding jobs when they get out of the army. He then started an organization that devised a creative new curriculum, graphically designed online programs to help students become excited about learning Mishnayos. One chesed after another. And someone asked him, Rabbi Ramon, how do you have time for all of this? You have a job, you have a family. Where does this success come from? And he said very simply, he said in Parshas Vayetze, when Yaakov Avinu is waiting by the well, and he sees a massive boulder on top of the well, and shepherds are waiting for the entire group to gather together because they can't lift it one or two of them at a time. They need a collective effort to move it. And Yaakov, in one fell swoop, sees Rachel Imenu, and all of a sudden, boom, Vayogal Sa'ev, and he rolls the boulder off the well by himself. How did he know he'd be Zocha to Siyata Dishmaya, to such an amazing miracle, to even try to pull that massive boulder off the well by himself? And Rav Rimon quoted his Rebbe Baron Lichtenstein Zatzal, who said a similar thought, because Yaakov had just dreamt of what was possible. He had just dreamt of what a Jew can accomplish. He dreamt of HaKadosh Baruch Hu telling him, V'hinei anochi imach, v'shmarticha b'chol asher telech. He dreamt of Siyata Dishmaya. He dreamt of HaKadosh Baruch Hu promising, I will assist you in everything you do, wherever you go. When a Jew dreams of what he can accomplish and dreams of objectives and goals in Avodas Hashem, in Torah and in Chesed, he's Zocha to Siyata Dishmaya because he's willing to try, willing to dream. And that's why right after that dream, Vayisa Yaakov Raglov, Yaakov carries his feet. The Medrash says, no, his heart carried his feet. His mind, his heart, his vision of what he could accomplish, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Siyata Dishmaya, lifted him up, sent him sailing forward. I can only imagine what the Rosh Yeshiva of Rosenblatt Shlita and his Rebbetzin dreamed of accomplishing when they started the yeshiva decades and decades ago. Looking back now, I have no way of counting the numerous neshamos and lives that the Rosh Yeshiva and his Rebbetzin touched and transformed through their love, through their warmth, through their affection, through their care and sensitivity and concern for anyone who walks through the doors of that Beis Medrash, or for the guests that they host in their home. I doubt anybody in this room can count how many neshamos were touched and transformed by the Rosh Yeshiva and the Rebbetzin. But it wasn't just the individual neshamos, it was the community of Kew Garden Hills as a whole that has been transformed as a result of the Rosh Yeshiva and Rebbetzins concern for the ruchnius of everyone in this neighborhood. Every major Jewish community around the world has a minion factory, so to speak. An institution, a Makom Tefillah, takes responsibility for everyone's achrayas to daven b'tzibur. Whether you go to Toronto and you daven in the Boat Shul, or Geula and Zichron Moshe, or you're in Flatbush and Landau, Zabar Park and Shomer Shabbos, and Kew Garden Hills, Kesher Torah. The institution that takes responsibility for everyone's need to daven b'tzibur has transformed the face of this neighborhood, of this community. Because when one dreams of accomplishing in Torah, in teaching Torah, in Chesed, in performing Chesed, when is zocha to remarkable Siyata Dishmaya, which we all as a community collectively have benefited from and continue to benefit from every single day, morning and evening. And we are all so indebted, so grateful to Rav Rosenblatt, Shlita, his Rebbetzin. I'm sure we all daven and join together in wishing the Rosh Yeshiva Arichos Yamim V'Shanim, he and his Rebbetzin together should be blessed with much gesund and much strength to continue to assist, to teach Torah, and to do Chesed for all of Klal Yisrael. Thank you so much.
Libo, we
Mishashlim Mishalin Mishalin Delibai Deliba Gacholam Dav Vayim
nafsheinu tchila v'rosh
Lefidu nafsheinu, tchila v'rosh, lefidu nafsheinu.